All right, we're doing this again, and this time it's gonna be pretty special, especially for those of you who like the Cox and Crendor podcast. If you don't know what that is, it's one of the many things I do, and my co-host Crendor has been on YouTube probably longer than me, but very good friend, very good guy, and big goofster because he has a channel called Almost Too Old for This that is a reaction channel to this channel. So I'll react to a thing and then he'll react to my reaction. It's good stuff. As long as I've known him, he's never really cared about story. Admittedly, most of the conversation we have is about video games, and he just doesn't care about video game story. So watching him fall deeper and deeper into the Amazing Digital Circus rabbit hole has been a supreme joy. I went to go watch his most recent reaction of episode 7, of my reaction to episode 7, and I saw it was an hour and 20 minutes. I pressed play, watched the first minute, was like, I gotta react to this. I have to. And so, my gift to you is a complete reaction to Crendor reacting to me, reacting to the Amazing Digital Circus. Enjoy the chaos.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? It's me, Crendor, and welcome back to another Almost Too Old for This, the channel where I react to Jesse Cox's Too Old for This channel, where he reacts to content for Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
And now I'm reacting to that.
We're talking about They Were So Close, Too Old for the Amazing Digital Circus, Episode 7.
First off, I have to roast him, because he roasts me when I slur words. So amazing, and I hope you have an amazing day, Crendor, and all of you watching, stay amazing.
Now, before we get into this, I'm going to let you know right now, I have already seen this episode twice.
This is why I was like,
I have
oh my
went
God.
back and rewatched every episode on the television, and I've went back and watched every episode on my computer in high definition, analyzing every scene.
You must understand how incredible this is to me. I've never known him to care about anything this much. It got him, y'all. It got him. I'm so excited.
And I have created what I believe is one of the Crendor's crazy crackpot theories that probably has some realistic things, but also some crazy stuff that isn't.
So it's going to sound
true.
Insane. Great.
And I'm going to share those with you, but I'm going to watch Jesse react to this episode. I might skim through some parts that I'm like,
oh, thank God.
Whatever.
I was like, I might have
so
to
if
skim.
you really want to
okay.
watch this thing, or watch the episode or whatever, you can watch Jesse. He's probably better because, like, I listen. I've gotten way too into this show, man.
Like, I love this.
I have created some theories. I have looked up theories. I have made my own theories, and I think I'm onto something, but I might be crazy. But I want you to also like come on this journey with me. And I'm curious what Jesse also thinks about my theories. So we'll probably talk about that even on the podcast this week. But I think I got something. I
told him not to tell me. I was like, I got to watch the stuff first, dude.
Literally was taking pictures of stuff. I was writing stuff down. Like, anyway, let's go. And then I'll after I skim through certain parts or watch, we'll just go. We'll just go.
All right, we're doing this again, and this time we're jumping in. Amazing Digital Circus, episode 7.
This handsome man I'm covering up,
y'all. This is exciting for me. I'm like in it. All right, admittedly not in it, but on the periphery. Like, what y'all doing over there? You theory crafting? What is that?
I am theory crafting.
I'm a big fan of those things. I have been for some time. If you know me, you know I love a good story, and I love getting into it and love kind of like, what's that about? What's that mean? I love getting involved in kind of the hype of a thing as it's happening.
I too love getting involved in this. Like, to me, it's like solving a mystery. And like, I've
never heard him talk about this before. I will obsess over a thing and talk the same way he's talking right now, but the words obsess, like a mystery, that kind of stuff, have never come out of his mouth as long as I've known him. This is a wild endeavor for me. I am both shocked and entertained. This is the true meaning of the internet. Shock and entertain me. I guess that's what it is. 2025, baby.
I think what I love most about this show is that the writers clearly do love foreshadowing, but they also like playing games. Like, they love dropping red herrings. And I think that's really cool because it kind of messes with you because you're like, is this a red herring? Is this actual foreshadowing? Does this mean anything? It might mean nothing, but it could mean something, and you don't really know until you get the full picture. And so I think that's what's so cool about that. I think that's what makes great writing, right? Is like You want to have foreshadowing, but you don't want it to be too predictable. But you also want to like divert people's attention a little bit here and there and make them think different things. Like I think it's really good. So let's keep going.
Despite these days mostly foregoing that when it comes to TV shows, because a lot of the time I'll get hype and then they'll cancel a thing. This, however, I feel like is on a trajectory. That is true. And we are experiencing it, and there will be an end. And frankly, I'm here for it.
Yes.
So
Patreon.com/Crendor, YouTube.com/CoxandCrendor podcast, YouTube.com/Crendor, Twitch TV Crendor.
Shall we? Shameless.
All right.
I just want to say, for the record, if you go watch Crendor's very first reaction to one of my reactions, he hated this intro. He was like, it's so long. The song takes too long. And now he's humming it. We got him, baby. We got him, baby. Oh, I'm so proud of us.
Here we go.
Oh, and I get to watch the episode again. This is great.
Is the adventure over already?
Also,
no, the adventure hasn't even started yet.
Before it starts. Interesting that this shot of Zubul that's like in the box. Also, did you turn on Crendor's reaction to my reaction of the
like Creno's reaction? It's me, Creno.
See what I was saying?
I bring you very good pieces, yes.
See what I was saying?
What should we do instead?
No, Gangle.
Wait, sorry.
Great question, Gangle.
Also, by the way, I just noticed.
What should we do?
You should have an adventure for you.
Look, he's literally got the red and the blue. The red and the blue are back here. All right, keep going.
A Chinese room.
Okay, had a bit prepared.
Hold on. I'm also, before I go look up the Chinese room again, since we're talking about red and blue stuff, I mean, you know, Gangle's got red and blue, right? Like, you know what I mean? So I don't, you know, there's a blue eye on Ragatha with the red hair. There is a moment where we can go too far off the edge, but I do think the red and blue means something. What? I have no clue. But there is a moment where we could just like, you know, one of those slippery slope things where suddenly everything's red and blue and it's like, what does it mean, man? And then Crendor and I are on a street corner holding up signs that say like, Cain was right. And that's it. That's where you'll find us from now on. Hold on.
The fact that they even foreshadowed the red and the blue right there. I didn't even realize that after my other watches. Like, it's literally right there in front of him.
The Chinese room argument holds that a computer executing a program cannot have a mind, understanding, or consciousness, regardless of how intelligently or human-like the program may make the computer behave. Suppose that artificial intelligence research has succeeded
kind of impressed
in
with these
programming
auto
computers to behave
subtitles.
as if
It's
it
not
understands
too
Chinese.
terrible.
The machine accepts Chinese characters as input, carries out each instruction of the program step by step, then produces Chinese characters as output. The machine does this so perfectly that no one can tell that they are communicating with a machine and not a hidden Chinese speaker. The question at issue are these. Does the machine actually understand the conversation, or is it just simulating the ability to understand the conversation? Does the machine have a mind in exactly the same sense? Now, I don't know if this is one of those, we're supposed to take deep meaning in the show, or if it's just a goof they threw in because Cain is an AI and him relating to them as people is artificial. Right? I feel like that's more of what it's saying than this is supposed to be some like incredible deep secret. I think it's just one of those, a goof thrown in. But it is used in the plot, and when they go in the room later and Abel starts talking to them, right? That moment also is part of the whole, well, he's saying he's like you, he's a person, and you're in the Chinese room, and he's saying to you, oh no, I am a human. And they're supposed to believe them, and I think that's like a gag, you know what I mean? For those who know, rather than a, like, we're supposed to take some deep meaning from this. Either way, it's very well done. That people do, or is it just acting as if it had a mind? So now, suppose that Cyril, that's John Searle from the book minds, brains, and programs, is in a room with an English version of the program, along with sufficient pencils, paper, erasers, and filing cabinets. Chinese characters are slipped in under the door, and he follows the program step by step, which eventually instructs him to slide other Chinese characters back out under the door. If the computer had passed the Turing test this way, it follows that Cyril would do so as well simply by running the program at hand. Cyril can see no essential difference between the roles of the computer and himself in the experiment. Each simply follows the program
auto
step by step,
text feature
producing
cannot
behavior
figure
that
out how
makes
to pronounce
them appear
Cyril.
to understand. However,
not
Cyril
pronounce,
would
to
not be
write
able
it.
to understand the conversation. Therefore, he argues, it follows that the computer would not be able to understand the conversation either. There's no understanding, there's no intentionality. The machine isn't thinking, it's just doing a job.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure we've all been there at workplace and we're doing a thing and we're just doing it because we're going through the motions. Hell, sometimes I'll get in the car, start to drive, and I'll miss an exit because I'm like in the motions of going to work.
Yeah.
By the way, funny story about this. So funny story about that, real quick. The original video had the complete scene in it, and it continues the splat sound effect you had. Well, we, for some reason, decided to show that, and I was like, guys, you can't upload that to YouTube. And they're like, why not? I'm like, what? So, yeah, I was like, please re-edit that. Anyway, that's some behind-the-scenes footage for you. What?
I mean, even going to school, right? People go to school and be like, why am I learning this? They're like, you just learn it, right? Like, it's like, okay.
The Chinese room is, they threw it in the first minute or so of this episode, so I'm pretty sure that's a hint of things to come. Let's go back.
They clearly intended to do this, which, honestly, I think the Chinese room bit is pretty funny.
It's good. It's a good bit. Hold on, can I mimic myself? He's literally sliding it under the...
Okay, why Chinese? Does this actually mean anything?
It's a mystery what's behind that door, but I believe it's a fluent Chinese speaker who will give me advice.
Can I just ask why? Like, what even is...
That's crazy. That's literally, that's just what they just put it in the show. Like, exactly what we were talking about. Okay.
You're only making the joke take longer.
I'm still really impressed that happened.
What does it say?
I don't know. I don't understand Chinese.
Hilarious.
And then Kinger laughs.
So, of course, the programmer, Kinger, thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut inside joke to throw at the beginning. I am so curious how many people in the community picked up on that and if they're talking about it online.
I imagine a lot.
Fascinating. Because the implication for the entire show
The fans
is...
online are pretty smart.
Like, there's no foreshadowing or crazy. I'm like, are you kidding me? They're just like, they're just doing the show. It doesn't, I'm like...
I want to take that back. Most of the fans online are pretty smart. I've seen some really stupid takes the last week from various communities on the internet where I'm like, do you have what is your comprehension of just normal media? How do you watch things? It makes me question a lot. I've seen some real hot takes where I'm like, what? Especially about Jax. A lot of people on the internet are like upset that, I don't know, they're like, it's almost like Jax is the main character now. I'm like, no, Jax is going through a story arc and we're using Jax to get background on the world because of I shouldn't have to spell it out, man. Let's continue.
Aren't you supposed to be miserable about your ability to choose your own body or something?
Aren't you supposed to be causing trouble for everyone?
I don't want to do it no more.
That maybe the ability to change is fine. Not needing to commit to one thing all the time.
How about that?
I'll show.
So, maybe he's about to say it.
She's like literally wearing
And
the
if I do
Jax
still
hand.
have problems.
Yes, I was about to say, I didn't notice that the hand literally is Jax's glove, or very similar to it. And the idea that she's reaching out to him in this moment and having a conversation with him when he's trying to seclude himself from the others and he's trying to sort of like block himself off and not be his usual Jax self because he's going through a thing, clearly. I find that very interesting that she chose to do that and add that to, I guess, their body. I'm not sure what the community consensus is on that, but yeah, it's pretty neat stuff. I guarantee Crendor skips
All right,
this
we're
bit.
about to get the like 2-minute montage. I'm gonna.
Called it. Is the implication there that abstraction is more like peace? Like finding inner peace?
I mean, I've always heard that whenever people die, your brain releases like 1 billion chemicals, and you just like
okay,
go on like some crazy trip, and then you actually die. So I mean, I think that might be what they're referencing, like your brain just releasing all of its chemicals and being like right before you abstract, like that type of thing. That's what I
like. We don't have answers on what abstraction really is because they still exist. They just become these weird creatures that then get dropped into a dark room of other abstracted people. You know what I mean? And there's just way too many questions. There's just so many questions. We need an episode that's about abstraction. I think we're getting there, right? What we saw here with Jax, and I wonder if maybe he is just definitely going to be next. Although they could go subversive and do someone else, which would be interesting. But yeah, I would love to know more.
I assumed it was, but I don't know.
I don't know. Also,
I remember Kinger did say that when his wife abstracted, it seemed like she was at peace, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that's what she was going through.
Also, I'm pretty sure I said there was nothing in this room when he came out of it, and there clearly is. I just got so hyper-focused on that one corner wall, and the rest of it faded away for me. And no, there clearly was. If you go back, there was the same things were in the room. It was just darker. I don't know why I didn't notice. Whatever. Also interesting that the room we saw was completely empty, and now we're in this like super happy room. It was not
a stylized.
It was
choice
not
of
past
showing
Jesse
where he was before and after, maybe.
I think it's the same room, isn't it?
Way to interrupt my nap.
Either way, it's like a little girl's
Can we
room.
talk?
Your what?
Yeah. He's not actually an NPC. He's a human. Like us.
Yes, I know. Getting stuck with a blank mannequin body of all things. Kane completely overlooked me. But because of this, I was able to, well...
Those are the eyes of a man who
I think I
sees through
found
a
a way
plot.
to leave.
I think he already knows.
I think this is the game. I think this is the game. I
Who
don't
is this
know
smart,
if
intelligent,
they
handsome
100%
man?
gave it away with the Chinese room thing, but I'm convinced this NPC is still an NPC.
I think I found the way to leave.
The way to leave.
Yes, the way to leave the circus and get back to the real world.
Yes, but please, keep it discreet. If Kane catches on, I doubt he'll ever let us get this far again.
I'm going to say it here, but it is really obvious from like a directing standpoint. If Kane catches on, then immediately flashing to the eyes. Like, that's... To me, that rings very obvious, and I've seen people online who are like, no! Which, again, bless, I guess. We all interpret things differently.
Just, you know, the casual
I know
eye
I
paintings.
probably thought this before. I'm not sure if I expressed it, but the eyeballs that are everywhere. At one point in time, I was like, well, maybe that's just Kane always watching you, or supposed to symbolize that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm convinced of it. That these
is, yeah, it's
eyeballs
gotta
are kind
be.
of like always present, always watching.
From the beginning.
Computer's always watching them,
Yeah.
right? I'm even more convinced now that this NPC character is like part of the game. He's like, there's no game today, but like there definitely is, and this is it.
Yeah.
That's why we came to you. We thought you might have a key to the Chinese room.
The Chinese room?
Yes, we're gonna need a place to talk without Kane listening in on us. I have a working theory that Kane will commit to a bit no matter what. And if the bit is to not know what's in the Chinese room, he'll stick to it.
Also, the fact that he says that Kane will commit to a bit no matter what, I think is also a bit ironic.
Guess I'll
I
check.
didn't even
Without
think
this
about that. He
episode
also
in.
has like a Kinger vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm crazy. I need to hear Kinger talk
voice
again,
actor-
but I feel like is it the same voice
Still
actor?
sounds
I don't know.
similar to me. I don't know.
Sounds it though.
Yeah.
These are
Thanks,
all the
Past
keys
Jesse.
I have where I don't know what they go to. Has anybody even tried just...
Oh, thank God.
Good bit. What?
Well, it's open. Let's just get inside before Kane sees us.
I'll go get Kinger.
We can fill him in later. I don't really know if I'm, ready to face him again after what happened. We've both done things we're not proud of.
Yeah.
The question is, if this is Kane, Is it talking
They're
about
setting up a lot, and I have a feeling this is all red herring stuff.
I'm still not convinced it's not, but if Abel is Kane and he's talking about Kinger, it still could be the possibility that Kane, the AI, recognizes that Kinger is the creator and is like, yeah, no, we've all made mistakes. You know what I mean? I don't know. I could be reading into that too much. Not convinced, because when the NPC ran out of the Chinese room, isn't that the whole, we went through the story, we did the story, right? It's all part of it. Oh, they're being set up. They're being set up.
I'm one of the original programmers of the Digital Circus. I was part of a team of experts employed by C&A to bring this place to life. Kinger was one of my co-workers, back when he was...
Apparently CNA, I think I asked this in the episode, like, where do I know Kane and Abel from? What's that about? I guess on forums, from the very first times we see the offices, CNA is there, and people kind of like, went through the process of determining stuff, picking things from episodes. With that all said, if it is all part of Kane's sort of manipulation, then is CNA even real? You know what I mean? Maybe it was never called CNA. Maybe we're not even seeing even a fraction of the complete story. All of it's a setup. I don't know. That's where we're in this rabbit hole at the moment.
But then I remembered that C&A was planning on expanding development. Last I remember, I was asking too many questions, and then poof, I was here.
Do we know that CNA is the name of the company? Was that ever a thing? Did they say that before?
You know that?
They're probably
past Crendor?
to anyone that stumbles in.
Can assume that it is. I mean, most of the things we've seen of CNA are in the world, but I do believe Kane has photographs that show CNA, and he's obsessed with the outside world. So I'm pretty sure it is CNA. We've also seen the gun that says Kane and Abel, but that was also created by Kane, so we really don't know, right?
Into that office. Kane.
I told you he's in.
Yeah,
I think we all got that.
An AI specifically created to keep your minds active. But he's just as much of a prisoner as you are. One that, won't be able to leave with us.
Just get to the meat and tell us exactly how we're gonna leave if we're all hooked up to stasis.
I didn't even pick up on that. That's one of those second rewatch things. This right here.
Much of a prisoner as you are. One that, won't be able to leave with us.
Just get to the meat.
So first off, one won't be able to leave with us, right? Him included, but later on he does not go. You know what I mean? So already fibbing a little bit, but also the way he says it, his inflection there is like, he won't be able to leave with us. Like it's a sad thing to leave. And if they do leave, he's dropping the hint. If they do leave, they'll be leaving their poor, poor friend behind, which is why in the end, the right choice is not to leave for this game. He's dropping hints that they shouldn't leave him. This is Kane testing them. I didn't pick up on that the first time. I guess you
tell us
weren't supposed
exactly
to.
how.
I did some digging, and I discovered that the stasis pods and the virtual world are both run in the same program. So, theoretically...
Also, he drew the bee here. Yep.
If we were to access the master
Wait,
console,
what do you mean he drew the
hidden
bee?
deep within Kane's
What do you mean
office,
he drew the
we could
bee,
terminate
dude? What do you mean?
and forcibly at the
What do you
master
mean by
console,
that?
Drew the bee here. Yep.
If we were to access the master
What is the
console
beam?
hidden
Alright, maybe
deep
he'll
within
explain it
Kane's
later.
office, we could terminate it and forcibly awaken everyone who's hooked up. Well, obviously, except for Kane.
How do we get into Kane's office?
We'll
And they did it again. They did it again. Like, yeah, all except for Kane. That's fascinating. They really were setting up the idea that, like, the right choice is not to leave because you'd be leaving your poor pal Kane behind. And if Kane is the one running the game right now, he wants them to make the right... Oh, my God. It's like all right there.
need to steal the key from Kane.
Man, this
and we'll also need
NPC sure
administrative
cares
privileges.
about Kane a lot.
I believe
Yes,
you're good at
exactly.
obtaining keys. I'm not a creation of Kane. I've suffered just as much as the rest of you.
There's a brilliance to the fact this is all happening in the Chinese room, the
Yeah.
place where the AI tries to pretend that it's human and you have to decide whether it is or isn't.
I know
I
this all
actually,
sounds
wow, okay.
crazy.
That was actually a thing I didn't realize. That was actually a really good
I got
Jesse
him!
Cox pickup right there. I didn't even realize that
Yo,
either.
let's go, me!
But if you follow me, you will see freedom. I'll also draw a face on myself, so you can tell me apart from any other blank NPCs.
Perfect.
Oh, what should we call you?
He also literally calls himself an NPC in this.
Do you have a name?
I do.
Oh, that's right.
My name.
He does say, so you can tell me apart from other NPCs. Which I understand that's him saying, so you can tell that I'm a human and they're not. But also, the wordage there. Yeah, all right.
Is able.
Right.
But like I was saying, this Macroverse place really intrigues me. And these photos are all I have of the location.
So he's obsessed with the outside world as an AI, which is fascinating.
Yep.
If that is the outside world. We should continue. If it actually is. You know what I mean? At this point, I don't know that it is. I'm starting to wonder if there isn't some giant red herring and that there even is an outside world. You know what I mean? I have I have questions. This could really kind of go anywhere based off this episode. Continue. We should continue.
Yep, all right.
I'm obsessed with them. I just wish I had more info on the location so I could accurately recreate it. Too bad they cut me off, right?
Yeah.
I think that's huge. They cut him off. Why would they need to do that? So if he's cut off from the outside world, how did people get to him? You know what I mean? This could be one of those things where the whole story is the AI creating these characters to help the AI cope with being cut off from humanity. Like, again, this could go literally anywhere because this entire episode is poo-pooing a big fan theory? A fan fury, which is like a fan theory, just a little more exciting.
When we all get out, I'll buy you a beer.
Make the right choice.
I saw a lot of people online complaining that what happens next, Pomni's actions, are out of character, don't make sense. If she wants to leave so bad, why would she pause? I don't understand. This is the reason why. She is so convinced escape is the thing. But then this guy just throws in make the right choice. Double, hits her with the double make the right choice. And that confuses her. I think it would confuse anyone if you have a set goal, but then you're given options, and then in the back of your mind, you have a character saying, make the right choice. You're going to think, is this sabotage? What do you mean, make the right? Is this a trick? Is there something that I have to look for? It's the overthinking will get you. And that's what happens. That's why she doesn't know what to do, because she's overthinking the situation. And she locks up. She's stun-locked by her own mind trying to solve a mystery that isn't really there.
Oh boy, here we go.
Right, so he's freaking out. A red and blue switch. Okay.
Yep.
So you can see the confusion. Pomni wants to leave, but is now questioning...
Kinger, do you want to make the choice?
The choice of what?
Are you sure he's all the way here?
Hey, yeah, wait. Don't we all want to press leave? Why leave it up to him?
What if there's something we don't know? Maybe we should give it a little more time?
Oh, yeah. I love pressing buttons. You, want me to press one of those too?
I don't know.
Am I missing something? We all want to leave, right?
Pomni?
Yeah, we do. It's just, what if it's a trick or something?
Why would there be a trick console in Kane's office? Like, no matter what we press, Kane's gonna know we were here. We should push it.
Hold on. Let's just wait a second and go over everything we know, and maybe we can vote on it or something?
I would like to say that it's insane that I went through frame by frame to look at those images, but it's even more insane that people found that real-life location in New Jersey. The internet be sleuthin'. All right. Also, I'm not sure if this is... I assume the flashes of real life. Like, I wonder if we're supposed to take away from this that Jax had, like, not a great real life and doesn't want to return to real life because here at least he can do anything. And maybe he wants to abstract. I don't know. That seems like a reach. I'm just reaching right now. But, like, again, I'm going to be saying I don't know a lot. Hopefully Crendor has some answers. I'm excited. Okay, so all of these are images of him in a car, moving somewhere.
Well, see, I'm not so sure about that, because when we see here, we clearly see there's the front of the car, right? But when we go here, there is no front of the car. So why would this still be in the car and that's not it, right? Wouldn't they have the dash or like the front of the car here? That's what leads me to believe that we're not actually in a car here. I think it does the back and forth to make you seem like it. I feel like he's just walking here, or maybe on a bike, right? I could see maybe he's on a bike or a skateboard or something like that. I think that's the more plausible.
I was expecting an answer as to, like, you know, what New Jersey had to do with it, or like, you know, Crendor is talking about, was he in a car or was he on a bike? Which is just about the most... I'm really excited for these theories now, because I assume it's going to be more of this and less of me trying... Great.
Answer here.
In a car, and then it flashes. Okay.
It flashes.
So all of these are images
of him in a car. And then here we have the front of the car. I feel like they clearly are showing the front of the car for a reason, right? Because, again, they would just show the front of the car in the previous scene if it was a car, right? I think a lot of people are not picking up on that. Like, they're showing this for a reason. I feel like everything that gets put in this show is there for a reason. Whether that reason might be a red herring to be completely meaningless, or because it has some subtle meaning. And to me, this is clearly we're in a car. I think the previous one is like he's on a bike. That's what I would guess.
Moving somewhere. Yeah, he's driving down the road. He's driving down. He's in the woods now. Interesting. Okay, yeah, he's deep in the woods.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
What did you just do?
Congratulations.
Congratulations, my little cattywampus cucumbers! You picked
It got cattywampus cucumbers correct!
You realize you'd rather stay with me than go back to that pesky old macroverse, or whatever we decide to call it. I knew you'd make the right choice.
You mean this was all...
An adventure, yes! And one I've been cooking up for a good long while.
Which, by the way, he does bring up in episode 1 where they have the exit door Pomni goes through, and he's just like, oh yeah, I've been trying to like think of an adventure to use with this thing, or it's something along those lines, right? So it is kind of hinted at in episode 1.
I don't remember that. Interesting.
Great
Okay.
job playing your part, Abel.
He really has watched this a bunch.
Good day's work. By the way, you think I could get a raise after that performance?
Oh, you're getting too smart. Time to delete.
None of that was true. The CNA stuff, the pods.
Cain and Abel, like...
The way
A
out.
fabrication of my incredible world-building skills.
I was right?
This music.
I can't believe I was right!
What would have happened if we picked the other button?
Oh, I didn't put too much thought into that one, cause I knew you'd never pick it. So I left that up to Bubble.
I made it take you to Shrimp Town.
Yeah, it was gonna take you to Shrimp Town.
You dirty liar! You scumbag! You made me... You got in my head. You just lie about everything, don't you?
Huh?
You can mess with our minds too, can't you? The stupid sauce, the vegan thing, God knows what else.
Our names?
No, hold on, guys. Wait. I may have the ability to add temporary modifiers to make adventures more interesting, but that's it. If I did anything more, trust me.
I'm so excited.
It would
You can tell this
not
man's
end
ready to
well.
talk.
Scratch. The first abstraction.
Hey! I didn't say anything like that! Come on, guys! You know I'm just here to have fun. Questioning's over. Your prize is this lovely gift basket of soaps and lotions. Stay fragrant, have a good night. Fragrant night, bye!
Cue credits. It's so good. It's such a dark ending. I love it. All right, Crendor, hit
that
me.
episode was great.
I have no mouth and I must scream.
Yeah.
Fantastic story. Really messed up video game.
I think Gooseworks said they were inspired by this. And instead of having this AI that's like, I hate humans, I want to kill humans, I want to trap them and, trap them forever and make them suffer. Kane is like the opposite, where he wants to trap them to like be with them and enjoy being around them and like have fun with them. And he doesn't want anyone to leave because of that, right? So it's kind of like a similar thing, but also very different. A much more like, like innocent way, right? Like he just wants to have friends. He wants to have people around to be with him, that type of thing.
Thinking about this and what he's saying and going back to I have no mouth, I think the darkest ending for this show would be the revelation that there is no outside world. Maybe the world ended, whatever the case may be. And these are people that put themselves in a program or something to stay alive at the end of the world, except the program is terrible, and so they're forced to suffer that for eternity. You know what I mean? Like, that's the darkest ending. But that would be a wild one if that's what happened.
Thing, right? So, all right. Folks, here we go. Buckle up. It's Crendor Conspiracy
Yeah,
Hour.
let's
So
go.
let's start with this episode, all right? Let's jump into, let's see, is there anything here? I don't think there's anything early on. There is this part with Jax where it's like, what is happening here, right? Like the ribbit arms are coming out.
Oh, those are ribbit
come out,
arms.
and they're gonna touch Jax and send him into like a
Very like
abstraction
God
type
and
of
Adam kind of vibe.
right? So to me, I think this still could be Kane, because there's numerous times where Kane grabs Jax and is like, in episode 6, he grabs him to tell him the instructions for the gun game, right? Where he's like, I wasn't listening. And he grabs him and he's like, and he's just like, oh shit, all right. I think there's another point where he does that. So Kane clearly can like touch them and make them be like, right? That type of thing. So that was one thing. That's not really anything tied into my theory. So the big thing here is that, to me, okay, a lot of people are like, see, Kane and Abel, the theory's dead. Like, this was Abel. It was just a whole red herring, NPC thing. To me, okay, I think this is Kane's interpretation of Abel, and Abel is Kinger. And so because Kane doesn't like Abel, Kinger, he's like playing him off as just like, like the mean NPC guy, where he just keeps being like, yeah.
It would make sense if that's the reason why their voices sound similar, at least to me. I might be the only person on Earth who feels that way, but like I just do.
Of course, Abel or whatever, like he doesn't know how to play correctly, or he doesn't do these things, right? There's various quotes he says, but it's clear that like, I think this is because everything Kane knows is from learning, right? It's AI. AI only learns from acquiring knowledge, which makes me also think, like, how did he get all those pictures? So, like, are the pictures
That's a great
he
question.
has just visions or memories of the people that get put into the computer program? Because that's kind of what I was thinking, right? Like, how did he get even those memories in Jax's head? Because clearly he probably saw those memories in Jax's head when he went into the digital circus. And so he's like, oh, maybe he learns, like, I can use memories to, like, make people change how they act. He probably learned that, right? So anyway, getting back to this.
Okay.
He probably knows about Abel, who's Kinger, and he's created this NPC in sort of a mocking way, which I think is why...
One of my coworkers.
He says, Kinger was one of my coworkers, right? Because Kane literally was one of Abel's coworkers. It was one of Kinger's coworkers, because I feel like Kinger created Kane, like Abel created.
I think that's
Kane,
what I was hinting at before.
right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thing. Is like he's playing off of this right now. Like Kane clearly is playing off of what he knows about Kinger or Abel, And I think they kind of show it.
My man hit us with the air quotes.
So like right here.
Back when he was still...
You really think Kinger worked with him?
Oh, whoops.
Like even here, he says back when he was still...
I can see it.
Right? Like he was still cool to work with. He was still normal. And clearly there's a point where Kinger tried to destroy Kane because Kane was going crazy. Right? Kane was getting too much power. He was doing all this stuff. He started to figure out
maybe he's the one who cut him off.
Cut this off, right? We're gonna get into this even more because I got the other episode I want to show you pulled up. Okay.
As production went on,
yes,
the higher ups at C&A started getting untrustworthy.
See, the higher ups started getting untrustworthy, but this is kind of Kane talking still, right? Because we're still with Kane. So he's saying like the people there that he was working with as an AI were getting untrustworthy because they weren't trusting him. Right?
They began forcibly hooking my fellow co-workers up to the computer in special stasis pods that would keep
now, I don't
them
know about this
alive
part.
And analyze their brains.
I could see them like analyzing brains, but like I've seen the Soma theory thrown around. I think that's probably what it is. It like clones a copy of somebody into the thing, right?
Okay, Soma. Right. Okay. So in the game Soma, it's about you know, copies of people. I don't want to spoil it. Man, it's tough. But yeah. Part of the game of Soma is the idea that if you try to put yourself in a computer, is it really you who goes in, or are you just making a copy of yourself? It's also the same plot as that Johnny Depp movie where they clone Johnny Depp in a computer, but like it's not really Johnny Depp. It's the copy of him, and then once it's not him anymore, it can be like there's a split, right? It's Johnny Depp in the movie dies, but his computer bits still exist, but that's not him. That's a computer program running Simulation Johnny. You know what I mean? And so that's, you know, that's one of those Soma things where maybe everyone in this is not really a person. They're copies of what that person was. And there is no out because they're just programs now in the computer, I think is what he's trying to say.
Stuff.
I'm gonna shoot you down and on a headset.
So we keep going.
On expanding development. Last I remember, I was asking too many questions, and then poof, I was here.
Do we know?
See, so he's asking too many questions. But I mean, hold on. There's like,
won't be able to leave with us.
Just get
as you are.
See, here he
One
says,
that, won't be able to leave with us.
like Kane won't be able to leave with us, guys. We really would like it if Kane was able to leave with us, right? He's still Kane talking through this NPC that he's called Abel.
Sure, that's
right?
what I was saying
But again,
earlier.
I mentioned this earlier.
Yes. That the stasis pods and the virtual world are both run in the same program.
Talk to me about the B.
Theoretically, if we were
What
to
is the
access
B?
the master console
What do you mean
hidden
B?
deep within Kane's office, we could terminate it and forcibly awaken everyone who's hooked up.
Right, so we get here.
We'll need to steal.
Also, I don't know
access the
if
master
you can see it here. I believe it's like, I think Jesse's covering it or somewhere, but there's like a bunch of names of employees. One is literally, it says like Kinger or Abel or something like that. One says Jax, one says Kaufmo. So it lists them as like actual employees, which I found interesting. But again, this is drawn up by Kane. So we don't know how much of this is actually true or like what he knows, right?
I'm not a creation of Kane. I've suffered just as much as the rest of you.
So he says, I'm not a creation of Kane, but I feel like he says that because he is Kane. You know what I mean? Like this is almost like Kane by proxy. He's just pretending to be.
Sure. And we do know that Kane is capable of lying. So it isn't that one of those things where it's like, well, he is Kane, so technically he's not lying. Kane can lie. This is just a scenario in which he just happens to be Kane.
We get to the Kinger part, all right?
Oh my god.
Oh, hi, Gangle. Hi, Zubul. You startled me.
We found a way to leave the circus. Kane doesn't stop us.
So clearly.
How would you? No, that doesn't make sense.
So clearly here he's like, there's no way to leave the circus, right? Probably by my theory is because they are digital copies. I think that's the one that makes the most sense to me.
Okay.
So he's probably like, that doesn't make sense. Like everybody here is just like a digital copy. Like you.
But would he recognize that?
Right?
We met up with Abel. He says he was one of the original programmers and he knows how to shut off the game and free us.
Who?
Now, a lot of
Yeah,
people
so
take this. They take this thing of Kinger being like Abel, who's Abel, as him being.
That's how I interpret that line read. But I understand where Crendor's coming from. What he's about to say probably is that him saying who is being like, wait, no, I'm Abel, I think is what Crendor's about to say. But I feel like the line read is more confusion that's like, I don't know that person and I've been here the longest. You know what I mean?
Like, nobody worked there named Abel. But to me, that's actually a red herring. All right? Because
you can't just say everything's a red herring.
Here we go.
Thought I'd give you a heads up.
He sits here thinking, like, Abel, right? So he's still thinking. Now, we go ahead a little bit to when Pomni talks to him, right?
Oh.
Wait.
And actually, okay, hold on. I didn't even put this together. Now that he has the admin pass, perhaps that's giving him some sort of, like, additional ability of thinking or bypassing something that Kane put on him. I don't know. Maybe it like reversed. So now in the darkness, he's dumb. In the light, he's not. Maybe it reversed the filter. It could be something like that. I don't know. But here,
could be.
He realizes something, right?
Wait, Pomni.
And he's like, oh, Pomni, wait.
That's what that was.
And he goes out and hits the light, which I guess that would kind of not make sense to what I just said. But either way, this part, he realizes he's named Abel because they mention like, this is Abel. And he's like, who's Abel? And he sits here thinking, gets the admin. He's like, oh, wait, my name's Abel, right? We have this running theme of names and how they all forget their names. Even right away, episode 1, they're like, what's my name? What's my name? I can't remember my name. And they're like, you know, you just forget your name when you're here, right?
I was about to say, so
now,
you.
Look at this.
Like, I was talking to him. So he thinks that that last minute, like, hey, Pomni, is him about to reveal that he is Abel? And that this other guy can't be? Is that what he thinks he was going to say before he gets, like, hit with a light?
Now, look at this subtle thing they do here at the end, all right? I think this is really what sold it for me on Kinger being Abel. We already know that Kane doesn't like Abel, right? Kane doesn't like Kinger because Kinger tried to destroy him. Kinger tried to change him, get rid of him. So Kane is like, how could you do this, right? So here, this Abel kind of fake proxy thing he makes
By the
is
way,
like,
you think I
hey,
could get a raise after that performance?
thanks, Kane. And then Kane's
Oh,
like,
you're getting too smart. Time to delete.
and then Kane says, hey, you're getting too smart. Let's get rid of you, right? Almost like an ironic twist of sense where Kinger Abel was probably like, Kane's getting a little too smart. We need to get rid of him. So now Kane is like, Abel's getting a little too smart. I think we need to get rid of him, right? Like, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's almost like Kane's just playing around with this type of thing. And so,
fun theory.
Not only does he just get rid of him, he, like, literally kills him. Which I think is, you know, that's kind of the funny part of, like, Cain and Abel, right? So, the Bible story. Now we get the hot dog. At first, I was like, this is just a dumb hot dog thing. But apparently, Scratch was a dog. Okay? So, Scratch, when Kinger's like, Scratch... Okay, keep that in mind. So here we go. We keep going.
None of that was true.
Incredible world building skills.
How do we know Scratch was a dog? Is that like an internet theory, or is there something in an episode that says that?
Our names?
And notice Pomni says, our names. Okay? Right after she's like, you make us forget our names. And he's like, whoa, 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 right? Like, I wouldn't do something like that. And watch this. Right when she mentions our names and he freaks out.
No,
what's
hold
the
on,
next
guys.
shot?
Wait. I may have the ability to add temporary modifiers to make adventures more interesting. That's it. If I did anything more...
If I did anything more, implying that he did more than temporary modifiers...
Trust me, it would not end well.
It would not end well. And here we are. It ends on Kinger, a shot of Kinger. Right? Like... Clearly, he's doing something to Kinger, right? He's doing something here. He's trying to...
So Crendor's saying the implication is that in the past, Kane tried to modify Kinger beyond just temporary stuff, and he ended up the way he is. I could buy that in a heartbeat.
Mess with him. So, I think it's obvious that, like, Kinger's probably like, oh yeah, my name's Abel. but obviously they all forget their names, right? Nobody remembers their names. And so I think what happens is Kinger's sitting there and he's like, Abel, who's Abel? Then he has the realization of like, oh, wait, I'm Abel, because he remembers his name. Like, oh, shit. Like, that is my name.
If Crendor turns out to be right about this, I like owe him a drink or something. It seems like it wouldn't happen. Like, he's not going to be able, based on Crendor's theory of, like, the way he read a line, right? Well, with that said, I'm open to it. It's not a terrible theory. It's actually, it could be very fun.
And so we get to this point at the end when, you know, they're talking about forgetting names, and then right after that, they're showing Kinger here, like, oh. And then Kinger says, Scratch.
The first abstraction.
Hey, hey, hey! I didn't say anything like that! Come on, guys! You know I'm just here to have fun.
I think the takeaway from this is supposed to be that the person he messed with was Scratch, hence the abstraction. But I guess in Crendor's theory, he messed with Kinger as well, and that's why Kinger is the way he... I mean, I guess that's what we're supposed to take away from it? I don't know. I thought when he said that, he was talking about Scratch, and that he was the first one to abstract someone on accident, is what I took away from it.
So he says Scratch the first abstraction, right? So it's interesting that Kinger remembers Scratch the first abstraction, and then the fake Kinger, or fake Abel, that he was doing the thing, is wearing a locket of a hot dog. Because what would that mean? It's almost like he's wearing a locket of a dog who would represent Scratch, the first abstraction.
Kinda?
So here's my crazy theory, all right? Kinger is Abel still, okay?
Okay.
And Scratch is his son. And he made the digital circus, or at least programmed it, worked on it, because I feel like this was a program for children and for like parents to remember their children. Maybe they have like children that are sick. Maybe they're, children and they're dying, stuff like that. And they're like, hey, you know what? This is a way that we can remember our kids at, right? They may die in real life, but then we have them in the digital life. And, this memory of them lives on in this digital circus, and they get to have adventures. They get to role play. And then, you can go in there and play with them as well. That's kind of the theory that I'm putting together here. Because obviously this is a program made for children. There's no swearing allowed. It's about fun role play adventures for kids. They can't mention things like sex, or he's like, blah, 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 right? So clearly it's meant for kids. And a lot of the different previous characters in here look like they might be kids, like even Scratch the dog. There's various other ones that look like kids. And so I feel like something like this happened where maybe, they made this program for these kids, maybe these sick kids or whatever it might be. And then they made Kane, and Kane starts being like, yeah, we'll go on adventures. And then he starts getting a little too smart. He starts messing around. And that's why when you go back here and he talks about Scratch, right? Where am I?
You.
Where are you?
Scratch.
Trust
He's
me.
like, if I did anything more, trust me.
It would not end well.
It would not end well. So, I mean, they show Kinger here, but they might show Kinger because it's his son, which is why he's like, wait, Scratch. Like, he remembers his son Scratch the dog, which is...
Does he? I thought it was Scratch, the first person who abstracted. And in this scenario, if Scratch is his kid or a child, why did he abstract? You know what I mean? Or why do others... The process of abstraction and why one abstraction, I think, is the biggest mystery of the show. Even more big than if it's real or not. You know what I mean? Like, if anyone's real. I genuinely believe abstraction and that whole process is the key to unlocking what this show is. Which is why they're being vague with it. But Crendor he took the left train to Theory Town. My man went off the rails. I'm here for it, though. I love this. I love watching people theory craft. It's always been a joy of mine.
Ironic then, because, right, he's wearing the hot dog trinket thing.
I need to... Hopefully he'll go back and show us, like, a scene where we know Scratch is a dog that can be represented by a hot dog. Because that seems like a stretch to me, but I also don't remember anything we've seen of other characters besides the one hallway shot. I was only focused on, in that hallway, the chess piece, and then some of the NPC things that we saw, and then Later on, when we get that weird intermission scene, that's when we see Ribbit for the first time. But I'm sure there's... that intermission scene is also a miss. There's so much. Okay. Maybe Crendor will talk about it. I hope. I hope he does.
And so Kane freaks out. So it's all, I almost feel like Kane started messing around. And Scratch the dog was probably one of the first things he started messing around with. And he messed it up. And he's like, oh, shit. Right? Kane probably freaked out. Like, I messed up, man. I messed up. And he was like, what do I do? And he's like, throw him in the cellar. So he just took him and, like, put him in the abstracted cellar. And then Kinger probably shows up. And he's like, what did the AI do? Where's my son's, like, avatar? And he was probably like, I don't know. So then they might be like, okay, maybe we have to, like, go in there ourselves and, like, figure this out. So maybe they go in there. And then obviously you start having, like, all this other crazy stuff. I'm sure other developers had their kids.
I thought he was going to say, in order to make Kinger not stress out about his son, if that's the theory, then he erased his memory. Like, I'd buy that if that's the theory we're going with.
In there, and other developers themselves went in there, which is what leads me to also believe that Jax...
not Jax.
I'm starting to think that Jax didn't actually get hit. Or there's theories that, like, Jax ran over a kid. All right, that doesn't make sense. That I don't think that would happen. Why would that? Imagine, like, finding out
those theories are stupid. Only this theory makes sense.
Like, oh boy, I'm glad I bought this Jax merch. I'm glad I bought this merch of a character that does a hit and run and has criminal records, right? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So,
all right.
I don't think that's it. I think that also ties into here, like he's riding a bike. Okay, so my theory is that Jax is riding a bike here. There's the kids that play 20 miles an hour. He's going down to, like, where he lives. And I think he sees maybe his little sister or something, which I think would tie into Ribbit. It's why I think why they look kind of similar. I would say
they look kind of similar.
Okay. He also makes kind of Breaking Bad references. He makes, like,
he did make a Breaking Bad reference.
Maybe he's kind of like a rebellious kid because he's being abused. I've seen a lot of people mention things like maybe Jax is from an abusive family, that type of thing. So maybe, you know, he's going home. Maybe his little sister's also getting abused. Maybe his little sister.
Sure, but I feel less like it's an abuse situation because I feel like this is a reach. I think this is an internet reach to explain some of his character traits when I genuinely think it could be as easy as he was friends with two people in the circus, both of them abstracted, and because he watched them die, air quotes, he's he's going through trauma like anyone else who's gone through big trauma. And he is questioning, why am I even around? Why do I even want to, like, why even hang here? So he's taking it out on the system, which is why he acts insane. And then he takes it out on the others because to them, you know, he's like, I don't care anymore about you or about me, especially about him, which is why he was so willing to abstract, right? He was so ready to go. He just doesn't care anymore. All of his friends are gone. It's one of those things when you talk to old people and all their friends have died and they're like, or family members, and they're like, if I die, I don't even know why I'm still here. And it's that kind of thing. Obviously they're old, so they're not acting out and being crazy, but it's that kind of vibe where, you start to question why you're even around. Everything seems to suck. It's very dark. He's in a dark place. I think we got a lot of symbolism of that. So I don't know if he's an asshole because of stuff that happened in real life. I think he's an asshole because of things that happened in the game. And he's like, it's just a game. It's just a stupid game. And, like, I don't care anymore. Like, that kind of thing.
You know, gets hit by a car. I would say maybe she's getting abused. He comes home and he's like, that's it, we're running away, right? And so he takes his little sister and they run away, and they run away to this abandoned building. They just go as far as they can go. Maybe then he's driving, right? He's like, all right, we're getting out of here. He gets in the car, they drive, they just go into the woods and they find this abandoned building and they're like, what's in here? And then they put the headsets on, right? That's kind of the theory that I have. It could be completely wrong, but to me, that's kind of tying together both these things, right? Like Kinger and everybody here is making this for, like, you know, sad.
So he's all on board with the idea of it being originally for kids. And that's how he's explaining all of this. Because I was like, where does he get the sister from? And I think he's trying to say that would be the reason why adult Jax would end up in this. I'm still not so sure that Jax is an adult. He could be like a tween, you know what I mean? I don't know. Because that could also explain why he's acting out. I was a tween once. Pains in the asses they are.
Kids, depressed kids, sick kids, all this stuff, so they can have a good time. And so then Jax and his sister Ribbit get there, and they go there, and they're like, yo, yeah, like, what's going on? And then they go into the circus. They're like, wow, this is great, right? Or at least the clones of themselves are great, right? This could also be absolutely insane. This is just kind of what I pieced together the other night, sitting there being like, dude. So now, all that being said, let's go
just
back
like the
to
sharks, dude.
3.
Oh, we're going to 3? Yes, let's go. Let's go.
Episode 3 is The Mystery of Mildenhall Manor. All right? This episode is literally the Kinger lore episode. Like, if you go back and watch this episode, it is unbelievable how much stuff in here is related to Kinger lore. Starting with this picture right here. This is 229. Okay, if you want to go to your YouTube and zoom in on it yourself, you can see this entire mansion is filled with pictures of weird eyeballs, creepy stuff, all this stuff. But then they do this one thing. Maybe I can max this out. Hold on. Where you can see Kinger, and they line the shot up too, where he's standing next to this picture of a normal family that looks like a woman and 2 kids. And there's nothing else like this in the entire mansion. But this specific scene, they could have had any other character walk right here. He walks past this at the start of the episode with a picture of a woman and 2 kids. So it's almost like a family photo, which leads me to believe that Kinger has 2 kids. Now you might be like, Crendor, you're reaching here. That's crazy. But the rest of the episode is literally about Kinger, which makes me be like, uh-oh, I think I'm right. Okay, shrink back down. Now, hold on here.
I genuinely think our dear boy has lost it, but I've never seen him this obsessed ever. And so I'm going down this rabbit hole with him. That does seem like a stretch, but I'll wait for the rest of the evidence.
Where am I? So anyway, we go here. We get to this point where Pomni and Kinger are walking, and they see
the Pomni skull in the back. Like, that stuff's terrible. Right? Yeah, I forgot about that.
They're in this in this together.
No.
Okay.
I wonder what this thing is.
My name is Baron Theodore Mildenhall.
So we get a lot of imagery here, right? Number 1, we have monster rumor, full story. Like, something has gone crazy. Like, perhaps an AI. Okay. We have the record, this musical player, which weirdly enough looks like it has 2 eyes, which again, you might be reaching like Crendor. This is just some sort of like audio player, but like they could have made it one audio thing. They could have done a record player. They could have done numerous things, but they chose one that looks like it has 2 eyes. And I think that's very symbolic in a show that has eyes literally all over the place, including in paintings on the walls, everywhere, right? And the characters themselves got weird eyes, okay?
This is like a Reddit post. I'm totally here for this. This is madness.
One could say it eventually became more of an obsession.
Also, they talk about hunting, okay? So we know Kinger's wife fixed bugs, right? So it's almost like she hunts for bugs. So is Kinger also, hunting for bugs, trying to create stuff, right? That might be a bit of a stretch, but we know Kinger's wife fixed bugs, okay?
The creature you see before you is one I've been pursuing for years.
So it also could be like he's hunting or trying to create, something cool, which is why he says, I've been pursuing one
not quite a
for
man,
years.
But not quite an animal. Something unholy.
And obviously, not quite a man, not quite an animal. Perhaps an artificial intelligence?
Something evil. I took it upon myself to spend every waking moment doing all I could to protect my family from the creature.
Because his family got put into the digital circus? And then it started to, attack them. It started to, it abstracted Scratch. It killed his wife in the digital circus. Now, that doesn't mean it killed his wife in real life, right? But the digital representations of them. Because imagine you're somebody and your child's sick, and you're like, okay, I'm going to put them in the digital circus. That way, even when they're dead, I can go in there and talk to them, play with them, go on adventures with them, right? Like, it's fun. But then you go in there and your child gets warped and put into abstraction. And
He's
you're like, what
all in on this theory.
Like, where'd my kid go? And then they're like, uh-oh, where did their kid go? And they're like, the AI's doing it. And that's why they're like, the AI is going a little crazy, guys. So that's kind of why I'm going down this theory hole, right?
Hoping that when I'd eventually killed it, I would be freed from this awful feeling, this inescapable dread. I was wrong.
Also, they could have picked any other character to go on this adventure, but it just so happens they picked Kinger and Pomni, which I think is also very telling. All right. Now we're going to skip ahead a bit.
Always write this thing, yeah.
Adventure.
Oh, wait, does he?
To the others? How about we try
To think.
Oh, yeah, this part. Because he listens to this,
You
okay?
know.
And he says, you know.
I'm starting to think.
How about we try to find a way?
He's starting to think what? Is he starting to think, this is about me, right? Like there's these little things, and they keep going. This isn't just like a one-off thing, right? Like this keeps going.
We could always write.
This is how conspiracy theories are formed.
Although I had shot the creature multiple times in its vitals and severed its head to keep as a prize on my wall, my troubles were just beginning.
So it seems like he shut down Kane, right? Like he shut him down. He's like, all right, we're done. But he wasn't done, right? Kane is still going.
I took my eyes off the body for what felt like only a minute. And when I looked back, the body was gone.
Almost like when you see Kane, and he could just go. And then also, we got a little abstraction thing on the table here.
The creature was not dead, and it would be back to reclaim what I'd taken from it. If anyone is listening to this, all I ask of you is one thing.
Also, he's looking in the mirror right now. Also, what did he take from it? Did he take Kane's mind? So now Kane took his mind? Right?
Do not let the head out of your sight. You have been warned.
Wow, this is some rather inconvenient lore placement.
And then we get this line of Kinger just straight up saying, well, this is some rather inconvenient lore placement. Like, there it is. It's literally right there. This is some it sure is some rather inconvenient lore placement. You gotta like piece this all together and figure it out, right?
This is some rather inconvenient.
So now,
yeah, that was me.
we go through
Is
this
this
whole
your
part.
hand?
This part doesn't really have anything. Then we get to Kinger's wife.
Man just jump scared me.
I'm sorry. Could you speak up?
Man just jump scared me with an edit.
Like we're getting a lot of this through Kane's perspective, okay? So Kane is viewing Abel, the NPC, through Kane's lens. So he's like, you know, yeah, Abel's dumb. Abel's like, he keeps talking, Kane's great. We should, and then he talks about a monster. And clearly Kinger here is referring to the monster as Kane. But now Kane has made this adventure. And so the monster in Kane's eyes is Kinger's wife, because Kinger's wife fixes bugs, right? She was like, he always mentions like, oh, she's fixing bugs. You know, she loved insects.
But isn't the wife the woman upstairs talking to the... She's like, ugh, men. Is he saying that the angel is his wife?
And so to Kane, he's like, yeah, she's the monster. She tried to change me. She tried to get rid of me. So he makes her the monster, which is why...
I couldn't quite make that out.
When she opens her mouth...
Pomni, I think this might be the creature from the tapes.
Right? She opens her mouth, and it's all abstracted in here, right? But Kinger's like...
You look beautiful, honey.
Because it's his wife.
Okay, that actually, all right, interesting. Not too much of a stretch there. Unless
they try to get out.
Unless it's what he sees inside the mouth, not the actual thing. You know what I mean? Like it's hallucinating him, hence the big eyes, and hallucinating him. That's right. And he's seeing his wife rather than it actually being his wife. I don't know, but all right. Okay, I see where he was going with that logic.
Because this boat is going up!
Then we get some more.
I'm not sure.
So now we get to this part.
Things have gotten far worse than I could ever have imagined. My paranoia had driven me to the point where I was no longer the protector of my wife and theoretical children.
Notice he says theoretical children because his children have died, and he put them into the digital circus. But Kate is trying to get rid of them, and his wife is there to come. All right.
I can't tell if this is. I have a theory, and I'm going to select evidence for that theory to fill in the blanks, or if he saw all this and said, oh my God, I've pieced it together. You know what I mean? Like, I can't tell if he came up with an idea and was like, I'm going to find evidence to back up my idea or not. I I can't tell. I can't tell. Again, this is how conspiracy theories start.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even realize he says theoretical children till now, which is why I just got so excited, because I think that also adds into my theory of theoretical children. Okay, so now it's like his wife. So
incredible.
Like, obviously, we don't know what happened to her in the digital circus, but who knows what happens to her in real life, right? Like, they're probably freaking out. Like, the AI's going crazy, our company's going under. Like, something bad is happening, right? And then, you know, maybe their children were sick. Maybe they did die. Maybe something happened to them, so they put him in the circus, and now Kane's trying to get rid of him, right?
But theoretical is different from, like they could have used another word to define his children who passed, if they exist. Theoretical is like, well, I could have children. Theoretically. You know? Like, you wouldn't say that about, like, I did have children, and now I don't anymore. I don't think.
Jumping at every shadow, every noise, I ended up shooting the love of my life, mistaking her for the creature.
So did Kinger kill his wife in real life? That I'm not sure. I don't know if this is a metaphor or if, like, he actually did out of paranoia or something happens. Like, I don't know, but that is a weird thing.
It's ironic, isn't it? In my attempts to protect her, I ended up becoming the monster myself.
And notice later in future episodes, like when he talks to Ragatha, he talks about doing things that people would consider him like a monster for, right? Or he's like, you know, I've done some things I'm not proud of. Right? He says a lot of things like that. So
I assume that was him making the AI,
the monster myself, right? So who knows what he did?
Now I wait down in my cellar, no longer having anything to protect but my own soul. If nothing else, I will slay the beast that took everything from me.
So now he wants to kill Kane because Kane took everything from him, right? Like, the company's gone, his wife is gone, his kids are gone. Like, this is it.
Then why not just delete the program from outside?
How's about we take his gun?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So now we get here.
Okay, I won't.
Now here's another weird thing I see, okay? Notice, he opens the shotgun, and what is there? 2 shotgun shells that look like eyes. Like, if you look at it from this distance, it kind of reminds you of Kane's eyes, right? I mean, you could be like, Crendor, you're going insane. Maybe you're going insane. Maybe I'm inside the digital circus.
I'm not going to say it.
There's too many eye symbolic things here, right? Like, it really does look like eyes. And it's in the shotgun in a situation where we just talked about Kinger's entire inconvenient lore placement, all right?
Looks like we've got 2 shots.
And he says, looks like we've got 2 shots. So, like, is that going forward? Are they going to have 2 shots to take down Kane? That's kind of... Maybe the first one is the one that's already happened, and now the one coming up here is the second shot, where Kinger is going to get another attempt to take down Kane, right? That's kind of what I'm piecing together.
Let's make them count.
I genuinely love this.
Yeah.
And notice...
Stay behind me.
When it happens...
Give it to me.
He does, in fact, do it. He shoots the one.
But not really, because it comes back to life immediately.
The other, so he does it. So I almost feel like that's a foreshadowing of Kinger will, in fact, succeed in taking down Kane.
But he doesn't, because it comes back.
That wasn't so bad.
But then...
Right.
One of God's angels, what I would be saying if I didn't know that the creature was
Again, we're also getting the symbolic eyes on the record player, right? And the creature was actually one of God's angels.
actually one of God's angels.
What?
And anyone who brings harm to it will be dragged down into the cold, spiraling pits of hell where...
Abstraction? So, like, obviously, the creature was one of, like, Kinger's angels,
so
right?
If
like,
tried to do harm to
He was
Kinger,
one of the people creating this game.
he abstracts
And so
you?
one of his angels was Kane. He's like, I've created this unbelievable angel. And then the angel falls, almost like a Satan-esque type of thing. And now...
Satan-esque.
The angel resides in the, right? It's just like he drags people down in the spiraling pit. It's almost like in the circus, then he's pulling them into abstraction. All right.
Satan adjacent. 665, neighbor of the beast.
And now his soul resides here, almost like he resides in the circus as well, right? And now all these eyes are popping up.
Apologize, dear listener. But I need a living host in order to escape the Hall of the Damned, and your bodies will be my only means of doing so.
And so it's also a little symbolic here. I almost feel like Kane needs a body to escape this place. Like, he wants to get into the outside world, but he can't. He needs a living host. I don't know. I don't think he's ever going to get one, right?
If that's a thing, I would believe that. The idea earlier when he's like, yeah, Kane can't go with you, but Kane really wants to see the outside world, the macroverse. I would buy that as a thing that Kane wants to do. He wants out. I don't know where that would fall into the storytelling that we're going to get, but like, I would buy that, you know? There's been no indication that he's trying to leave so far. He's just obsessed with the outside world. But if that's a thing that were to happen, yeah, okay.
Sorry again about your husband killing you.
Also, then we get to this part where we're literally possibly, I say literally, we're possibly in Kinger's house, okay? Like, we have his picture on the wall of his family. We're in his basement. We have all this stuff. And then we get to this part.
Good tea. Sorry again about your husband.
Sorry about your husband killing you and everything, where we just had this part of, like, Kinger potentially killing his wife in, like, some, like, crazy state he was in where he's, like, paranoid. And he's just like, right? And so is this possibly his dead wife who's just, like, a ghost here?
Killing you and everything.
Oh, you know how men are. Always having the silliest priorities.
Don't I know it?
So,
if your friends see...
Then obviously we're still down here and we get the weird part.
Hold on.
Where she tries to walk through all the souls, which possibly maybe the souls are different, you know, people trapped in the circus type of thing. I don't know. That's me just reaching. I don't really know about that, but we get to this weird part.
Also, what this definitely says is that, you know, if all this is a creation of Kane, this bit right here, where Pomni gets taken over, then yeah, you can be corrupted. And in the end, it's all just Kane, right? And he morphs and changes Pomni here. But it's all just him doing it. Like, there isn't really a ghost down here.
Pomni! Hey! You get out of her, you damn evil souls! How's your wife, Kinger?
Then we get the "How's your wife, Kinger" line. So here's the other weird part I saw. Okay. So we get to here.
I'm surrounded by darkness always brings me back to a certain time. Exact string of events, but we
so
both
this is another
ended up
weird
in
part.
the fort together.
So his wife gets abstracted here, right?
And it was dark. The darkness seemed to calm her down a bit. The harsh, jagged edges smoothed out, and she didn't seem aggravated anymore. She wasn't the same as before, but she was calm enough to touch one last time before she got sent to the cellar. I'm always taken back to that moment when engulfed in darkness.
That when he touches the abstracted version of his wife, nothing happens to him. But if you go back to episode 1, you'll see that when they get abstracted Kaufmo touches Ragatha, she starts freaking out. Like, her arms like...
And Ragatha touches Pomni, and Pomni starts freaking out.
So why is it that Kinger can touch an abstraction and nothing happens, but Ragatha touches an abstraction and her arm freaks out?
Now that's a solid question. Okay, yes. Great catch.
Right? So clearly, Kinger still has some power. He also does the thing where he creates a butterfly, right? So he still has some power here. Over all of this. So that's kind of my Kinger theory. So I still think he's able. I think he just forgot his name. I think there's a lot of lore here. There might be something else in here that I don't remember. This is kind of all I wrote down and like kind of research here. But I think that's pretty clear to me. Like, I'm pretty confident in that. Then, speaking of Jax, I'm getting the hour and a half. This is getting crazy. So speaking of Jax, okay. Jax, in the recent episode, right, where we're here, when he's here, he freaks out over this snow globe, all right?
Right.
Hey.
You can hear voices, and I thought it was supposed to be Ribbit
they had
and
some sort
Kaufmo.
of adventure there, probably with Ribbit and Kaufmo, because we see them having the hot chocolate earlier, and he's, like, very sad, like something bad happened. You can almost hear the audio of, like, arguing.
Hey.
The real question I have is, again, are those globes save files? Or are they worlds of adventure? Or, like, what's the vibe there? I just don't know. Because why would he... Is the voices he's hearing, is that, like, in his head and we're just being let in on that? Or is it emanating from it and he's hearing it? I don't know. I assume it's in his head because no one else reacts to it.
You all right? Hey.
He's almost like, blah, 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 anyway, like he's yelling. So I feel like he's probably arguing with Ribbit. So my theory is that this adventure was the last time him and Ribbit went on an adventure, which, you know, maybe this was his sister, right, in my theory. And then he got into an argument with her, and then she abstracted right after this. She was probably lonely. She was like one of the only people he had. It was like, you're my brother type of thing. And then she abstracted.
Okay,
and
at least
so
he's explaining
then
that.
that makes him go crazy. So he
In
just
his
keeps
theory.
thinking of this final adventure. Like, I should have been nicer to her. I don't know why I did this. And maybe that just makes him into an asshole. Also, another weird thing I noticed related to this kind of snowy adventure is when Jax is abstracting in the previous episode, he looks into the sink and it's like ice. I don't know why there's ice in the sink.
No, that's just ripples. That's just ripples of...
And at first I was like, okay, whatever. But the fact that he's like losing it and there's running water over ice in the sink, which kind of ties into like
Is
they go
that
on a
ice?
snowy
I wish I
adventure
could-
out in the mountains. Like maybe
I feel like that's
they
just
were ice
graphics,
skating.
not ice.
Maybe that's where they had their big fight, was out on the ice when they were doing some adventure with ice skating, right? Like why... It doesn't really make sense why there's a big block of ice here in the sink, unless Kane is
it doesn't
messing
make
with
sense.
his mind, right? And like putting ice in here, like remember that adventure? That type of thing? Dude.
None of that looks like ice.
I
It
don't
just
know,
looks like
but
water ripples.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's kind of my theory.
That's
right?
where we're
So
ending it? I thought we were
let
going
me
to go
know
back
what
through
you think down
episodes.
in the comment section below. Be like, Crendor, you're
Crendor.
crazy.
Crendor.
You're kind of right. Crendor, you're very right.
That's...
Whatever it might be. Just let me know down in the comment section. But that's kind of what I've pieced together from my intense rewatching of...
That's... You pieced together just a Kinger theory, and maybe there was ice in a... There's so much more. I thought we were going to go back to like episode 1 and look at when Pomni goes into the office. I thought we were going to do so much. You teased me. I got teased. I was going down the rabbit hole with you. I was having a whole like, well, this is going to get weird. Nope, that's not real. Oh, that could be. I was with you, and then you're like, all right, anyway, I'm done. Is that what it's like to watch my videos? Oh, that's intolerable. I'm so sorry if it is. All right, I feel like I need to talk to this man. I'm gonna have to drag him like into a call and be like, what are you talking about? I've never seen him like this. My man's coming up with theories. I think some of them are insane, but like he's coming up with theories. And frankly, I'm not too old for that.